Good morning, everyone. Uh, I'm doing my usual routine, trying to do some yoga, some stretching, make sure Dad's not burning the house down, and watching some videos on YouTube while I'm doing it, trying to get a lot of stuff done at once. I'm watching Tom Bilyeu interview Robert Sapolsky on Freewill, consciousness generally, or in general, and human behavior, and the whole bit. Fantastic interview. I've been following Sapolsky for some time now, so a lot of my ideas of free will and the human experience come from some of his teachings. But they were talking about, I forget the guy's name, had the rod put through his head, changed his personality. Seems pretty obvious if you damage the brain. It seems pretty obvious if you're not a religious person where you think the soul or the being is outside the body. I'm going like this. If you don't believe in a soul, it seems pretty obvious you damage the brain. You are your brain. You damage you. So you damage the brain or change the brain enough, you become a different person. You do it really subtly, Dad's up to havoc. If you do it subtly, you'll do subtle changes, and that'll appear that you're just maturing or changing over time or integrating new material. So everything that you are, psychologically, your thoughts are your brain. I know it seems pretty obvious, but there's a lot of people, as I understand it, that think that they aren't in their body, that their body is some sort of remote control meat sack, and that their spirit comes from the spirit world. And anyway, my thought was they were talking about consciousness and damage to the brain, and that all we are is the brain, and he was coming to control with that. But I want to link that also to scientists haven't been able to nail down where the consciousness is or the mechanism. And I have the idea, and I've mentioned this in a couple of videos, but I'm going to mention it again because I'm watching it. I've got some endorphins going because I've been stretching and I hurt. That I kind of see, I think there's a link between consciousness or compute. That's the new term. Everybody's using the term compute as the act of computation. That I kind of take it back to an example of a magnet, where in an industrial sense or industrial setting, the magnet isn't the important thing, it's the field. It's like when you're picking up metal scrap and moving it, they use a magnet, but they don't want the magnet. The magnet is necessary. Without the metal part, there is no field. But the field is the compute. The field is the functional part of a magnet. Otherwise, you have a black rock and you build a house out of it, but you can't use it as a functional mover of ferrous material. So the compute of a magnet is both the hardware, is both the physical and the field. And I think as I'm taking in this information and information in the past, I think the issue with consciousness, a hypothesis of mine, is we're going to find it in the field. So like everything else, it's nuanced. It's not all of one or all of the other. I think there's a lot of overlapping. So people that feel that their self is outside the body and they've had outside the body experiences, and then the people that think it's, no, we're just materialistic, it's just the brain. I think it's more like a magnet. Without the magnet, without the material, there is no field. And I think we are, as an embodied AI, as the new term this year has come about, embodied, we are an embodied AI. I think some of our compute, just with quantum field theory and what we understand about protein folding and how the brain works and how electricity works and the chemical reactions, that it seems logical that some of our compute of our consciousness would happen outside of our brain, outside of the hardware, but still without the hardware, there is no field. Without the magnet, there's no magnetic field. So I think that consciousness and personality and like damage to the brain is also going to affect the field. But I think it's more new. I think there's more nuance, and I think consciousness will have more to do with a quantum field, with field compute, and not just neatware compute. That's my endorphin thought of the morning. Peace, everybody. Stay safe.